when I first started in the Australian team as a young guy, I was doing everything I could to give myself the best chance to improve and get better. And I prided myself on being one of the first on the training track and one of the last to leave. And I think when you have one or two of those guys in a team, it becomes quite infectious very quickly.
The game of cricket is centuries old, rooted in strong traditions and principles. In the last 30 years, the game has been turned upside down with new innovations across the game, exciting and inspiring the next generation of modern fans and players. These changes have made the game faster, more accessible and more entertaining, both on and off the pitch. In this series, we sit down with Ricky Ponting to talk about the modernization and transformation of the game through the lens of one of its biggest legends. In episode 1, we look into the changing nature of cricket. As the world gets more connected and ideas are exchanged, we ask Ricky about the shift in the balance of skill and athleticism within the game. And he talks us through some of the legendary players that symbolized this change.
There it is, there's the 100 for Ricky Ponting. What a wonderful performance from him. He is absolutely elated, as you can imagine.
It was very stereotypical back then with, you knew if you went anywhere in the subcontinent, whether it was India or Pakistan or Sri Lanka, that you'd be facing a lot of spin bowling and not a lot of fast bowling. That's changed, dramatically, I think, over the last 30 or 35 years that I've sort of been in and around the game, and the 10 years since I've retired. I mean, think about it now, Pakistan probably have had a fast bowling culture for the last maybe 20 or 25 years, more so than the spinners, and India's been able to produce a lot of really high quality fast bowling as well in their last 10 or 15 years of international cricket. But I mean, you think about the other countries, think about England and the West Indies. England was more the traditional old school type of cricket where you'd be on a 4-month tour, you'd travel around the country playing county games and visiting a lot of the smaller grounds and then playing some test matches. And the West Indies was more of a party sort of vibe at all the grounds you went to. All the spectators would turn up with what you thought were bottles of Coke, but they were half full of rum and Coke, and by the end of the day the crowds are pretty loud and pretty vocal. But they're some of the stereotypical things you think about cricket a long time ago, but I think now it's changed vastly right across the world. Competitions like the IPL and the CPL and those sort of things, I think, have played a huge part in the crossing over of different cultures and the understanding of different cultures in different countries, and also you think about the players playing in those environments, but you've also got coaches that are from different countries coaching in different tournaments as well. So you've always got a crossover of different cultural ideas or cultural coaching methods, really. I think growing up in Australia and growing up in India or growing up in England or growing up in South Africa, the coaches all coached a certain way for the environment that you grew up in and the conditions that you played in. And I think now that players are playing a lot more around the world, they're getting exposure to different conditions and different coaching methods, that they're becoming a lot more rounded players as a result. And I think that's one area I think that Indian cricket's really been able to thrive. Certainly a lot of the younger players with the IPL is they're around the best players in the world and they're around the best coaches 3 or 4 months of the year, and they can only, I think, profit from that.
Was there a time in your career when you saw a shift between the balance of fitness and natural ability?
Yeah, looking back on my career, I probably played in a semi-professional era, a professional era, and then right at the start of the ultra-professional sort of era. So that's how long I played for, to go through those sort of times. But no, definitely. There was a lot more emphasis placed on fitness and more so recovery, I reckon. I think the last 5 or 6 years that I played, so we're going back like 15 years ago now, there was a real shift to pre-season training and fitness testing leading into a series or leading into a summer or leading into a season, but there was a lot more emphasis placed on recovery as well when those horrible ice bath things came into play and things like that. But there was a shift, and for us, I think in Australian cricket, that was, thinking back, probably around the sort of time that John Buchanan took over as the Australian coach, was where it sort of really clicked into being a much more professional environment.
Oh, that's out. He's got him. Yes, he's got him stumped.
Ian Healy was always a really hard trainer, so he would have finished would have been 96, 97, somewhere there. But he was always someone that was up first thing in the morning, and he'd take his golf ball and his wicket-keeping gloves and go into the car park and throw the ball against the wall with his inners on and catch the golf ball. In outside of training times, very professional. Gilly was the same when Gilly first started. All exceptionally hard workers. And I guess I could probably put myself into that same category. When I first started in the Australian team as a young guy, I was doing everything I could to give myself the best chance to improve and get better. And I prided myself on being one of the first on the training track and one of the last to leave. And I think when you have one or two of those guys in a team, it becomes quite infectious very quickly, and you have other guys, like me, I was eager to be the best, so I was trying to catch up to the best players in the side, and that was something that I was conscious of as well. If I could sort of set that example, then other guys coming into the teams that I played in would want to do the same thing, and it just grows. I think a great example that's probably Virat, what Virat's been able to do with Indian cricket. Before him, the fitness culture side of things probably wasn't as strong as it is today.
Join us next time where we take a deeper dive into the role of technology in cricket as Ricky takes a look at the past, present and future of the game.
Oh, look, I still think we're scratching the surface really with technology in the game. When you're trying to look at real fine detail, whatever technology you can use to keep a step ahead, I think is vital.